Alright everybody, in this quick video I wanted to show you how to link some events together using the level blueprint. So the first example I'm going to show off is how you can have something based off of a trigger here. So we have our kind of scene here where you start off, you can see some of the block out is kind of sticking through and there's some art into here. What I have is this console here, and that is linked to this door to open, right? And after I walk through the door, let me turn off the lighting here, there is this green trigger box, right, that I added into the map. So it's pretty much, just a wireframe box, right? So you can find that in here in the modes panel. If you go to volumes and then go down to trigger volume, just drag one in. You can scale it up, do whatever you need. First thing that we do want to check is we want to make sure that the player can move through it. So down here under the collision tab, it'll usually say trigger down here. That's the default option. And it should allow lots of these things to move through it. So anything that's under the overlap, this kind of column here, if it's marked for that, it'll overlap and detect when those things kind of move through the trigger. If you notice though, player down here, this collision channel is actually blocking it, and we don't want that. So I'm going to change this to custom, and then I'm going to ignore everything for now. Hit this top left button, and I actually only want to overlap players because I don't want the enemies to be able to trigger this, just the player. And I walk through it, and then I'm going to play a voice line, and then we're going to have the enemies spawn right over here. Right, so this is a target point. So this is from the modes panel. You just type in target point, add it in, and then I'm going to go to my level blueprint. Right, so if you see I'm on the sample map block out right now, I want to click on the controller icon to open that blueprint. Right, and what I have here, right, is I have a sequence to detect when I move through that. If this is the player, right, and then we're going to only have this run once, and it's going to wait a second. There's a voice line and somebody saying, hell, that's not good, right? And then wait a second, and there's another one that says, watch out. And then after that, we are spawning an AI with the monster type, right? And we're using that target point to get the actor location and the actor rotation. So to get this in here, I just have to click on it over here, right? And as long as it's in the same level, you open up its level blueprint, you can right click, and then it says create a reference to that actor. So that's how we added that. And then we pull the pin off, get the actor location, that's the yellow pins, the wires, so that's where it's going to spawn. And then the purple one is for the rotation. So if you actually look here, if I click off of it, there's like a little blue arrow right here. So that's the direction this target point is facing in, which is really nice. It's facing in the kind of the X local direction. That's usually forward in Unreal, the X axis. But yeah, that's how we are getting that reference into there, so we know where to spawn it. These sound effects are just, I'm playing them as a 2D, so that there's no attenuation. There's no distance. I walk away from it and it gets quieter, or get closer to it, it gets louder. It's just kind of playing on top of everything else. And I bumped up the volume a little bit because they're a little bit hard to hear. So these do have some options that you can change. There's a couple of delays in between. This section over here, to get this in, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this and show you the process of adding that real quick. I know I kind of did this backwards. Alright, let's click on our trigger box that's here. Let's go back to the level blueprint. I'm going to right click. Make sure it says create reference to whatever it is that you have selected in your map. And then let's go to add event, collision, add on actor begin overlap. Okay, so we already know in the details panel here that this will only overlap players. This is just almost kind of a backup to make sure it doesn't, interact with anything else. So I'm going to pull a pin off of other actor. Remember, blue is always the actor references, the actor objects. So who walked through me? And what I like to do is usually we have some sort of interface or a tag or something on the players. So it makes it easy to detect when they move through something or when they interact with something. So we want to check to see if this actor has the BPI player interface. We are determined that it is a player, and we want to proceed to the next part. So I want to add a branch connected to that, and then all of this is going to be hooked up to the do once. So are you a player? Yes, you walk through it. Do this just one time. We can't walk in forth between it and have it trigger multiple times. It's only going to happen once, right? And then I am going to turn off the audio for some of the other sections here, just so that it's a little bit less cluttered. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna interact with that. Open a door. So I haven't walked through the trigger yet, right? I walked through it.
Watch out!
See, it spawned the enemy. And then there's some other enemies back behind there that were actually in the map. So that did work. And the next one, we're going to take a look at how we can link up a blueprint to do the same thing instead of having a trigger in the world. All right, see you in the next video.